Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirisho here, and now, before I do begin, I do want to say something. I have been a little spotty for almost 3 weeks, where I have not posted, but I did record those mini shots a few days ago. Now, I believe that I have sufficiently recovered from my concussion, but if you guys do somewhat notice me being a little slow still, yeah, it's been a whole thing. Now, with that being said, let us begin. In the last part, a number of things were happening. Deku discovered who murdered Tony Stark 9 years ago. 9 years ago, whenever he started his journey as Iron Man himself. Now, they battled against Technovore. Technovore took out Miss Costa along with a few numbers of his armor. Luckily, some of his more technical suits, his more powerful ones, were staying on Earth in case the government still tries to throw murder charges for Tony Stark at Deku. However, this was not so simple. Technovore took out the armors and then tried to get into the real world. When he discovered about Deku's monoprime armor, he wanted to absorb it, and Izuku was a bit concerned. They had a massive battle. Eventually, he sacrificed the armor and it blew up, and Technovore was taken down. He was in his lab, trying to work on his next suit of armor, along with Remake AI that can replace Miss Costa. She was the last remaining piece of technology that told him Ultron existed, the last thing he created that was still around. Yes, he did do much to create the Metal Prime armor, and Deku did make his own modifications, but still, the idea that it's all gone, no evidence of it happening, is around anymore. It was weird. Deku could finally move on with more of his life, bury that part of it, and move forward as a hero. And Carol Danvers came to talk to Izuku. However, after she made some advances on Deku, he had to stop this. And Wade, he dropped the charade and actually revealed something to Deku. He made some deals, and Captain America wanted him out of the way. It was simple. He made a deal with the captain and another person, one who will not be named, and in return, Deku just needs to get taken out of the way, taken out of the picture or killed, whichever one really he wanted to do. Using the continuity stone, he took away some of Deku's powers and dropped him in a location. But he also revealed to Deku that Captain America was the one who murdered Iron Man, the real Tony Stark, not the superior Iron Man he fought. Now then, with that being said, Deadpool, he left. Meanwhile, Izuku was left there in a room unfamiliar, and that was some time ago. And we do currently have today. Deku does sit in a cell. Right now his hands bound in some restraints, covering his wrist as he does sit there, looking at the bowl of water they have for him, along with the empty bowl of food they've been giving him. They don't give him utensils. He has to eat with his bare hands. They monitor him a few hours of the day. That's good. He's managed to figure out that pattern. Keep an eye out and listen. Stay close to the door. When they check on him, stay away from the door. They like to be repetitive. It's also annoying. He hasn't seen daylight in, last his count was 4 months? 5? They do give him a lab to operate in. They want him to build things. He knows he still has his powers. At least his inhuman powers. Damn it. If he can get these restraints and collar off, then that would make everything easier. That's all it would be. Should he be working on. No, 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 not yet. If he's right, they should be coming today. They'll want him to work on something. Work on it more? Yeah, definitely not good. Him somewhat mumbling to himself. Currently, the door opening up a few minutes later, before a man standing there with a rifle and a few people do talk about it. Stand. Him looking up. Before the men do come into the room, and Deku does climb to his feet. One going to hold the weapon up and point it at Deku. And he does go to express, opening his palms and showing off he doesn't have anything between his hands. Before the men do to walk over and grab Deku, currently dragging him from the cell and down the hallway. Him trying to think of everything. Analyze it again, go for the information. What does he see? A hallway, a corridor. They take him down to the left, and then they take him down further. 100 feet, and then take the right. No, the second right. And then they take him to a door. There's a keypad, and Deku does that turn. Currently, him with a corner of his eye looking and seeing the code they enter 6416. That being the thing that does stick in his mind. Currently, him getting pulled inside and sat down. Two of the men going to leave as the other does talk about what's going on. They're going to be monitoring the lab and making sure things are good. There's going to be other people around, but make sure to keep their eyes on him. With what he's building, they're going to need it. And the person doesn't understand. Currently turning, as Deku does still stand there, being informed about what to do. Him bringing his hands up as he does request his restraints be taken off again. And the person does to step forwards. They take them off, and Deku does stand there. As currently he has a turn, hearing the sound of the automated turrets lock on to him. And he does go to walk over to its chair, sitting down and continuing to draw up some more blueprints. He's given them some ideas for weaponry. He's kept it slow, kept it different. He can't keep doing this for very long. As long as everything is happening, then it's going to be troublesome. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Okay. But if he can just make a little bit more alterations, everything should be fine. Him turning, grabbing something on the table before he does go to look up. Currently him seeing... Not again. Scarlet. Wanda. Standing there. And she does go to express, walking down the table with her hand somewhat sliding across. You know, she has a lot of questions she does want to ask him. Deku grabbing a piece of metal before he said take it down and slip it into his cast before he does go to turn. Currently him grabbing something and then go to turn. Knocking over a wrench, talking about it. He just... Shut up. One of the guards turning, looking at Deku, who does have bent down, slipping another piece of metal into the cast on his leg. Before he said turn back. Just leave me alone. Him staring at Crystal, as she does stand there expressing, leaning forwards with both of her hands on the table. You know she can't do that. She's made this offer to him before. In fact, it's the best offer he's going to get. Doesn't he understand that? It's just a simple yes or no question. A deal. Deku turning. Before he does, gonna look back at his workbench and beginning to work on a few things. Currently, him using the tools they do provide. Archaic. Primitive by his standards. But they work. They won't give him power tools, They won't give him many tools. Just what they have, and they'll try and do what they can with the other ideas. And Deku, he knows that. He likes to be there and get his hands dirty himself. See the flaws and mistakes and fix them before he even gets close to the final design. They're cutting corners and they are cutting cost. It's a good thing that they are not aware of it. Otherwise, he just. God, this is getting so frustrating. Him being taken back to his cell hours later, and food, it has been put there for him. Currently, Deku limping into his cell before he has to grab the bowl. Him sitting against the wall and trying to think. Okay, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Him taking one of the slices of meat and going to chew on it before he does go turn. Him grabbing the piece of bread that he does have before he does begin to bite into it. Thinking about it more. He's been being tempted by this deal for some time. The guy next door, he laughed at him. He just doesn't know. All of this is bad. None of it's good. He needs to get out of here. Warn everyone. Cap isn't Cap, and it's bad. Captain America murdered Iron Man. Tony Stark. He can't summon the God Killer here. Something is blocking that ability. More than that. Him hearing a sound, looking up and going to see Crystal. Currently, her holding their daughter, along with seeing someone else. Currently, they're being Storm, and then they're being Aurora. And all of them, they do begin somewhat chant. They do begin their cadence of begging Deku to come back, come home, come find them. Why did he run off? Why did he go? And Deku, he hears them try and coerce him more. Before he does do one thing. Currently, he does go take the bull and turn, dumping it onto the floor for turning and chucking it at these illusions, screaming at them to fucking leave him alone, to stay away from him. And how he knows it's bullshit. Before a man does gonna manifest, and he does just won't step out. Him with his red skin and glowing eyes. Mephisto talking about it. He really should take the deal. It is the best he could offer him in the circumstances he's in. You know, you can get free. Get out. I can do that for you. A simple little flick of my wrist and the use of my power. Wouldn't you enjoy that? All I ask in return is something. You know, I don't believe in the devil. So you're not real. Say that all you'd like. But I'm not the devil, boy. Right. You're just some red-horned prick. Now, stay the fuck away from me. Him moving forwards. And Mephisto, he does express talking about it. There's much that he can do. Much he can give him. All he would need to do is to agree to a deal. And Deku does sit there. The man bending down, talking about it. Does he accept? He wishes for great power, great knowledge. He would give that to him. All he would ask in return is a sacrifice. And Deku does look up. Before he does do one thing. He does bring his right hand up and swing. Currently, him going to try and punch Mephisto in the face. And the man, he does take the blow. Currently, him stepping back before he does go to stand there. And Deku, he does get to his feet. Him yelling again at the man. Before he does a rush forwards to the man, does bring his hand up. currently forcing Deku backwards into the wall. We just smash into it, hitting onto the ground, and Mephisto does go to vanish. Currently, Izuku sitting there and going to turn, feeling the pain throbbing through his shoulder blade, before the voice on the other side of that wall does begin to be heard. Was he here? Yeah, he was. The guard should be coming soon. I know, I know. Just, I can't see them. It hurts. I miss them so much. And this fucking deal he's offering me. I know it's not right. I don't like it. You don't. It's everything I need. Freedom from this place, getting out of here, and then I can save people. He just wants something in return. He's not naming his price. I am not fucking dealing with that. If he wanted to take something, he could. I don't know why he wants a deal. It's how he operates. You mean how he fucks with people? Yes, it is. The guard going to slide open the door before seeing Reno Deku sitting against the wall and some food in the corner. Before he does go to tell him to quiet down. Otherwise, they're going to be taking him to a special room. It sliding closed. Before Deku does a turn, currently expressing. He's gotten more of the metal. You know, for the project. Good, good. And how long do you think it will take? Pieces we've been taking? That's another story. Don't know. Uh, Hang on. Deku turning, his hand mushing onto a piece of the bread and meat still on the floor. Before he does, go grab a panel in the corner of the room. Currently, him pulling it off as he does go to begin crawling into a small little area. Seeing right now makeshift parts of a suit. And he has a turn, currently waiting for seeing the other panel begin to move. And a man with a scarred face does begin to somewhat crawl through. Him going to begin setting down components and gears on the ground. And Deku, he has to pull the metal pieces out of his cast before setting down a long, thin piece of metal. And Victor, he has to bend down, grabbing this piece and staring at it. Good. This could work. You think so? Yes, yes. I'll be able to fashion a key with this. We should be able to get you your abilities. Though I am still concerned. I should be the one who operates the suit. Listen, Doom. I can power it. Can you? I could. If I gain access back to my magics. Yeah. I don't know how that could work. Huh. Ask Dr. Strange. For right now, I'm the only one who could pilot this thing, and I say I should wear it. Okay? Yes, yes. Whatever you say. However, are you certain that this will work? I'm certain of a lot of things. Listen, with this, I should be able to get to the lab. There, I can do more. Let's put it this way. I've been keeping an eye on some of the projects they have there. One is a little bit more technical, more mechanical, but I've been building it for them. It's a suit. Are you serious? Listen, it's not. Okay. They've wanted me to build an Iron Man suit. I've built it for them. All they're lacking is a power source. And I've told them it's more sophisticated. more complicated. And I need more than just a few hours in a day. So they're trying to create their own battery. They're trying and failing. I've told them the specs I would need, but they're still trying to use theirs. Lucky for me, they can't make an arc reactor. Though they want me there tomorrow. Think that this can work before tomorrow? We'd have to get to work quickly. Him and Doom begin to do so, them taking many of the small parts they do have still hidden in this compartment. And the two, they work away, talking and going over designs, talking and going over much. The suit will work. They've taken pieces and scrap from every project they try to have them on. And Izuku, currently, he does go to stand there. Right now, him thinking about what to do. And we do have the next day. Someone does get to come to the cell. They are curious. And when they do slide the cover off, they look around the room, not seeing Iron Man. Before they do actually get a little bit more panicky, talking about it. Clear the door. Not getting a response. And Deku, he does his own sit there. Right now, him concealed in the dark of the metal room. And the man, here's a turn. Currently, him and the squad, they do go to aim their weapons. And the door, it does get unlocked. And Izuku, the moment he heard that key turn, he went to do one simple little thing. He used the key Doom made and put it into his collar, turning it as it did go to turn off. Him ripping this thing off as the metallic hand, it does go throw a collar to the ground, and the sound can be heard. Before the men do to step into the room, and then there is a small, high-pitched hum. One man turning as there is a glow. And the suit, it does begin to move. Deku standing up as he does go to step forwards. Him smashing into one of the men and knocking them into the wall. For they just smash down. One turning and firing at Deku. Currently, the suit taking the bullets as Deku does a rush forwards, grabbing the man and throwing him out of the room. Before he does a step out. And the men, they do get to see this giant metallic frame. Clearly, Deku was a little busy. And he does gotta do one thing. Turning as one of the men, they just stare at him. Deku bringing his hand up as he does gotta turn his wrist. Currently, him firing a gun inside the armor. It flying through the air and smashing into the man's shoulder. Before Deku, he has a turn, looking down the hallway and trying to check if anyone's behind him. Turning back and trying to generate more and more of his own bioelectricity. Trying to get any hardwire connection he can. Currently, him unlocking the door to the lab and quickly making his way there. Currently, hearing sirens blaring and people yelling orders about how Iron Man is no longer in his cell. And this does cause concern. Deku running in the corridor and getting to the lab. As he does go to enter the code and it does not work. Him turning and going to smash his fist into the keypad. Currently, him going to turn back to the door, bring his hands up and going to force his hands inside the crack. Him trying to get a bit more of a grip as he does going to pull the door open. And Deku, he does hear someone firing into the back of his suit. Him feeling a shot of pain before he doesn't feel blood pouring down the side of his back. And this isn't good. Him going to turn back. As he does, going to turn his wrist and fire another weapon. Currently, it spitting rounds down the hallway. And this is not very good for that man. Him and a group of them trying to follow Izuku. Before he does a run further into the corridor, further into the lab. Him looking up and blasting out the lights. Before the night vision in his visor, it does show him where he needs to be. Deku does hear commotion in the lab. Many more of the scientists in the room, they've been trying to evacuate, run and get away from Deku. He's broken into a highly secure and locked down area. And right now, he does go to make his way over with his suit as guards do to fire at him. Him going to turn and blast back at them before he does a turn back, looking to see the massive suit he's created. And he does go to stare at the power source. They've already put it in. Lucky him. Saves him the time to try and jumpstart it, to see if things will work. And hopefully, Deku going to squint before his powers do to activate the suit. It turning on as Izuku, he does go to do something very quickly. Him scaling back all the power it is outputting. How fast, how hard those servos are working. And the suit immediately begins to have the output begin to stabilize. For Deku, here's a turn. Him quickly bring his hands up and pulling off most of this makeshift suit of armor. Where he's going to turn and climb up into the giant crimson dynamo. Now, Deku, when he does get into the cockpit, he has to close the door. Currently, him grabbing onto something and locking it before he has to bring his hands up. Currently, him going to close his eyes. As a suit, it does get to stand up and begin to move. And we do have the guards. The guards, they were currently making their way down the hallway. One squad was being led by a man, and he was concerned. Currently, him turning and yelling about what happened. Them in the corridor where Amanda's lay and the lab can be seen down the hall. There are bits of metal on the ground, some that he can see, and then there's scorch marks and holes in the wall. So, that's a concern. And they do begin to hear a sound. Currently, them turning to a person who does hold a grenade launcher. Them quickly moving in, and they're going to fire. Currently covering the hallway with smoke as one of those grenades do to roll into the lab. And then they hear the sound. The mechanical noises they can hear. The massive footsteps. Before a massive hand does a grab the door and bend it further. Currently it slamming further open into the wall. Before the Crimson Dynamo does a step out. And everyone, they do begin to scream. Currently them firing what they can as the suit does get to make its way into the hallway. It smashing into the wall as it's too wide. It beginning to move, and the walls do begin to crumple, and supports to the building do begin to hurt. Now, someone has taken another grenade launcher, them loading it and firing the shells directly at the suit. And it doesn't even get phased. The paint is still there, and it does continue to move forwards for bringing its hand down, smashing a fist to the ground as everyone, they do get sent flying. Now, some of the people there, they do try to retreat, and Deku, he does allow them to do so. Him turning before a man does a turn back, holding up a weapon and firing at the suit. Izuku going to activate one of the guns and firing at the ground. Before the man, he is struck in the leg and falls over. Deku turning back and making his way down the hallway. And there is Doom, who sat there in the room waiting. The plan was simple. Deku didn't get him out, and the door to his cell does go flying across the room, smashing into the wall and hitting into it. Before Doom does a turn and see a massive suit. Him walking out as he does have a green gown covering him. Before he's a turn, looking directly at Deku. And the two, they do begin to move. Doom expressing about what needs to happen, taking one of the energy weapons he sees on the guards. They need to leave quickly. And Deku, he already has the floor plans in his mind. him making his way down a hallway and finding an elevator, punching the shaft open as he does go to activate his jets. And Doom does stare on. Deku turning back and picking up Doom. Doom annoyed before Deku does begin to overcharge his jets. The propulsion system on his back going to come out and allow for extra thrust. As Deku, he does begin to move this giant suit up and into the elevator shaft. It makes its way up and up and up. And on the surface, we do come crashing through the shaft and through a building. Them going up through multiple walls as the suit does continue to go further and further into the air. And Izuku, he is keeping his eye on the charge. Currently, him sitting there in the cockpit, strapped in. And he does get to take down one of the controls and then go to do one thing. He does go to shift them as the suit is going to go faster. Now, Izuku, he is keeping an eye on everything. Systems behind them, systems in front of them. The skies are clear. Come on, okay. Currently, Deku doing one simple thing. Him activating a few flares before he does an air brake. And Doom, he is going to feel this. Them currently moving backwards as the suit is to fly in and smash into a jet. Izuku going to turn off the brakes and continue flying. Before he does, going to activate some of the systems on the suit's back. One of the shoulders opening up and firing out a guided missile. It flying through the air and chasing that jet. And Deku, one of the jet is to try and fly back around to catch this bogey. He does go to sit there. Before he does go do one thing. He presses a button in the back of the suit is to open. Currently, the rear jets going to have their missiles fly out. And there's the air jet following them. It does go to be struck. Currently, it being shredded by the smaller missiles as it is taken out of the air. And the suit does continue flying. Deku taking a sigh of relief before he does could bring his hands down. Calm systems. Okay. We should be in the clear. Him pressing a button. And we do have over at the tower, where Deku's voice can be heard. Hello? Is anyone there? This is Izuku Midoriya, broadcasting to West Coast Avengers bandwidth. Hello? Can someone respond? Hello? Izuku? Carol. Hi. Listen, I'm in a bit of a problem. I'm dealing with a bit of a problem. I'm injured. I'm in a suit, and I'm not sure where I'm at. My positioning system it's telling me I'm in, Jesus, California? No, hang on. Let me just, all this shit's scrambled. I can't be in California. Hang on. I'm pressing a button. I'm currently finding out that he's very far away from home. Okay. Where are you? That's complicated. I'm close to Berlin, I think. I'm not sure. I'm tired, hungry, and I'm pretty sure I'm delirious. I'm bleeding and I've been shot. Also, I've been held captive for a few months. Izuku, you've been captive for several months? You've been gone for 5, almost 6. So I did lose time. Where are you currently? Uh, I'm trying to make my way home. Alright? With most of my powers, I should be able to get there. Though I'll need one hell of a power nap. Do you copy? I do. Though, are you sure that would be wise? You don't want me to come help you? I'm sure. I've got to make a pit stop before that. Really? Where? Latveria. Currently, Carol not too sure why. Though Izuku does explain. And there currently is at Latveria. Deku, he does drop off Doctor Doom. And Doom, he did request that Deku stay. He got a shower. And he got some proper transportation. This copy of a suit, this excuse for one, it will stay here. Deku will be given some proper transport. And the man, he does just stand there. Currently, him shaking Deku's hand as the two, they do to stare each other down. Doom can respect Izuku. Mephisto will often do that. Hang a deal directly in front of you. Can you resist it? The offer can always be tempting, but the price you pay, it's often than times not worse. And Izuku, he was given that offer almost every single day. A normal man would have been driven mad. He wasn't. His will is strong. He is not weak. That he will respect. And Doom does give Deku the courtesy of a proper ride home. Now, Deku just won't sit there. Currently, him in a jet, trying to think about what to do, before they do land at the tower. Izuku stepping off his craft and thinking about what to do next. Get a suit, talk to Captain America, and figure out what the fuck he did. He needs to do what he needs to. If he can explain the situation, then they can take him by surprise. That'd be the best thing to do. But he still has to talk to fucking Deadpool. This being a thought that does cross his mind. We do currently have Deadpool somewhere else before he just sneeze. And he does gotta drop one of the two ice creams he was holding. One Rocky Road and vanilla, and the other currently Oreos and cream and mint. Currently him staring at one of them before turning and looking at the ground. Now, let's cut back over to Izuku, who he does go to walk onto his tower. People glad that he's back home. And someone, they do go to stand there. One of the Avengers he recognizes. As the moment he sees Steve Rogers, Deku feels overcome with rage. He was trapped because of that man. He visited him in captivity, like he was a fucking animal. And this does overwhelm Izuku. Cap with that Boy Scout smile. Though now that he can see past it, he sees the evil in those eyes. He sees the man in charge of Hydra, not Captain America. He might have died a long time ago. And that part discourages Izuku because of how much he respected this goddamn man. Now, Deku does gonna walk off the jet, and Peter, Carol, Johnny, and other Avengers do stand there. But Deku, he walks calmly, then with a purpose, and then with a little bit of more pep in his step, before he is a walk right up to Steve Rogers, and the man is a hold his hand. Him, glad to see Deku again before Deku is to throw up his left hand, smashing across Captain America's face, as hard as possible. And Cap, he is to feel the blow. Currently, him spitting some blood before Peter and Cap do going to move forwards. Currently, Deku going to stand there as Cap. He does going to bring his hand up. Him stopping one of Deku's arms as Spidey is going to grab Deku. Him screaming about who the fuck he is. And about how exactly what the hell happened. And everyone, they do see this. Currently, Carol trying to help Peter get Deku back inside. Since, yeah, from what they can see of him, he's very disheveled. A long, lengthy beard, dirty hair, and That smell? Yeah, clearly he needs some personal time. And, well, this outburst, it might not be too good. And Deku, he does understand. He might have messed up a little. Though, at this point, he doesn't care. He's gonna need to talk to everyone. Tell them his side of the story. And that thought just crossed his mind. Him sitting there in his room and with a full belly, a proper shower, and a shave. He always thought about growing a beard. He always looked up to Tony Stark. One day thought about if he grew facial hair, just trim it the same way he did. But he's not sure. He's cleaned up his face. But for right now, he'll stick with the full beard. Maybe one day, see if he does like that look, or just shave entirely. That little thought in his mind, it's nice to have. Though his options, yeah, that's the part where he's not sure about. Currently, Deku bringing up the glass in his hand and taking another drink. Before he does it, hear his door slide open, turning and going to see Crystal. Her staying there, we just step in, the door closing behind her as she does to try and ask him if he's alright. No, not really. I'm so happy to see you. His eyes going to tear up. Crystal making her way over and going to sit down, grabbing Deku and pulling him into a hug. As right now, Deku, he's got a lot to deal with. He's had to do a lot to get home. He almost made a deal with the devil. Now, he has to deal with the devil posing as a good man, the one hiding in plain sight. And let's currently cut over to Captain America. Captain America, he has a few things planned, a few things he wants to put through to fruition. And right now, with him as the head of S.H.I.E.L.D., that is going to be good. Though he does just want to stand there. Right now, him in a brand new suit, as he does go to tell a few people in charge about what he will be doing. Everyone here today needs to understand. When they make their move, when they take over, everything will go good. Because they, him holding something in his hand, do have their own ace in the hole. And Cap does stand there with a cosmic cube in his left hand, before he has to bring it down to his suit, talking about a few things. With this device, they will be victorious. With that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.